I want to change my way. It has to be this way. I live my life for myself. Forget your filthy ways. Blame and lies. Contradiction arise. Blame and lies. Contradiction arise.
Alright, what's up yins guys? Time for another video. A lot of cars passing by over here at this time of day, so I hope this ain't making too much noise and too distracting. And if I play it back and it is, I'll just make this video all over again. But anyway, the video that I've been meaning to talk about, some shit I wanted to make fun of here. And once again, I'm going to sort of talk about the Antifa Cop City terrorist attack videos, but not about the same old shit. I want to talk about some of the shits in the shit in the comment section. Subject matter in the comment section. Stupid shit in the comment section, people be saying, alright? This gave me an excuse to talk about this shit. About how you can be far left and far right, and you can make a particular statement. All right, you ever have a statement that you use all the time, for example, towards certain bosses in workplaces, and you're not no shit-ass leftist piece of shit that sticks up for lowlifes and everything, and you're not the far right. It might be some of your supervisors that, for example, if you have too smart of a mouth, if they talk down to you, then they can be on the right, but yet at their convenience you can be a far right extremist, just for getting smart with them. That kind of mentality, you know what I mean, where you can have somebody that you can't stand, they'll use the same statements that you do. I saw this in a comment section one other day when this is a subject matter when I made these other videos about the Cop City riot thing at Antifa. And it was on my list to make a video about this. But anyway, one of the comments, I'm going to tell you one of the comments, just if you're with me here, just bear with me to get to my point. A commenter which I agree with, there was a commenter that I agree with. I saw his comment, leafing through the comment section. And I usually take pictures of shit like this if it involves comments against me. And you guys know me well enough, I don't got to keep taking pictures of shit, because I'd have to, in this case, I'd have to leaf through a bunch of comments to show you. So you've probably seen this shit before and take my word for it. But anyway, a commenter made a good comment that I liked. For example here, to get to my point, he goes, geez, these people that do these raids either on things like this police training compound, and the same kind of people who done all these other vandalisms in the past. He says in his comment, I work for a living and I have time to browse on here and look at this shit. It goes, it's beyond me how people find the time to be always doing this shit. And what do they do for a living? What are they doing for themselves? And which I 100% agree with them. These people were lowlifes, right? So another commenter chimes in, talking back at him and saying, and here's the statement that I've used, this is where I'm getting to my point. He goes, oh yeah, you're a slave to the man, you're some obedient worker, or a bunch of rhetoric like a lemming, a kiss-ass, bootlicker, all these. I'd have to take a picture of it and show you to get the exact statements. Which I've used statements like this, right? People on the left and the right will use a statement like this. And people who I listen to that or lean to the right have say this. But the difference between maybe I don't know, speaking for myself, me and a low life like this, and the difference between this commenter, which I'm siding with him, the difference between him and me and maybe some of you, difference between us, or I don't want to speak for anybody without their permission, but the difference between maybe me speaking for myself and that guy I agree with, and that other asshole that's chiming in, using a statement which some of you guys might have seen some of the videos I've used. My point is, people like this, you will use the same statement you do, right? But they mean it a different way than you do. I've told my partner this, I told friends this, and some of you guys this in videos in the past. And talking in parentheses here, you know, there's probably other statements you can think of that both sides sort of use, but they have a ass backwards way they use it to their advantage, unlike you, and they think they're better than you. Well, for example, okay, I'm going to bring my fitness videos in it, which I had statements I'll do with somebody's patrols comment, yoga and leather and steel toe boots or whatever, is weird. But a lot of you people know me, right? I was in workplaces doing this before a shift or during a thing instead of going and having a cigarette. Which, maybe like some of you guys watching, the difference between us and assholes like us using a statement is, for example, yeah, you can pick up some things, get something done just like that. An asshole like this that's an ANTIFA, damn loud ass traffic. But anyway, you hear that in the background. Anyway, yeah, this stupid ANTIFA sympathizers that are making smart comments to somebody that says he works for a living and don't have time to do stupid bullshit like vandalism. People like, this reminds me of people like that you work next to, right? This is the kind of person that will have something to say. For example, you pick up something, do a job just like that. Maybe you could pick up something just like that, you know, and they can't. Maybe they got stupid t-shirt and shorts, stupid cargo pants, skinny legs and skinny little arms, and stupid t-shirt and shorts with little sleeves, and walk a goofy hairstyle, and yet walk around like they're tough because outside of their job they smoke a little pot that they buy from their stupid friends, and then drink beer, and then this would be like, I'm trying to simplify this and use if I had my version of the YouTuber Awake with JP, if I wanted to parody, do some kind of clothes or change my hair to parody these kind of idiots, I'd be just picking something up just like that, or maybe doing some kind of other, whether knuckle push-ups or some kind of stretches during lunch or before a break, where they're all complaining, oh yeah, I need to get somewhere and have a joint. I can't wait to get out of this job so I can go drink my beer with my white leftist friends or whatever friends I buy my pot from. Like, but you and them would have a version of wanting to get the hell out of a job, and me or some of you guys might, it might involve having a good supper. And if you drink a beer on the side of a meal, that's different, you know what I mean? But, you know, they'd be complaining about doing the job all slow, doing as little as possible, and they'd be the ones, right, just because you're doing something, you could be picking up 5 pounds real confidently, and just walking right up to something, and they'd have some shit to say. It'd say, go, you slow down, you're making me look bad, or try to say some shit like, oh, what kind of shit are you on? You on speed or meth or cocaine or something? And then they'd say, anyway, I met people like this, they'd say some stupid shit involving drugs to take cheap shots at maybe, because you do something with a little bit of strength and confidence. The shit they say would be so stupid that you'd actually want to look up cocaine or meth and speeders to see if it matches what they're trying to say, or they're making some more version of it, right? But anyway, I work next to people like that. Some people that were close to me about being on the right political right, you know what I mean? Friends that were common workers, maybe like me, that I got along with, but then there'd be the supervisor that claims to be right, that thinks he's shit, right? Talks down to people, and all that shit. Yeah, people, you know, I mean, that call you right wing, and you have some friends maybe that you worked with that are kind of right wing, but then there's that ass then the left people that would accuse you of being right-wing, and you'd go to them, hey, well, who the fuck are you calling right-wing? Do you know what a right-wing person is? If it's any consolation to you, I had supervisors that were on power trips that think they're shit, that were also right-wing like you say, and they don't fucking like me. But me, oh, I'm right-wing because, I don't know, but I'm trying to give you the idea about the character of these kind of people that I saw in this comment section. And if you got this far in this video, their character were unlike maybe me, even the way I looked when my hair was less gray and I'm less bald. For example, man, I was spending my money mostly on eating out and buying CDs before it was popular. A whole giant collection of CDs and buying shit for myself, always eating out. Drugs and a lot of alcohol were what you call a financial burden, and my moral aspect of a thing, not so much being right-wing and against the left, was more like a more prudent thing to make myself feel richer. I'd rather buy myself stuff. And the person that I'm kind of making fun of in the comment section would be more like the type that would be, I'd be working next to, would be giving me dirty ass looks. Because maybe I'm buying things that cost more than they can afford to spend on their weed. And these kind of people also, their character, if they work next to you in any workplace at all, if they even held the job, even while they're at the job, or whether they have a job or not, they spend a lot of times where maybe you had a lease on your own sometime in your life. They never did. These people in this comment section, I'm trying to compare them with associate them with the kind of character of the people like this that in real life you encounter. Unlike you, they be almost my age, or maybe 20 pushing 30, 30 pushing 40, still living with their parents, still driving their parents' car. Maybe they bought a car and their parents bought them a car, and still living with their parents, have a computer in a room in their parents' house at a particular age, and they're going in a comment section and commenting in the comment section, being an Antifa sympathizer on Cop City Antifa footage videos. I don't know if you guys got through this boring ass sarcastic ass video that I'm creating. You trying to get my point. Some of you guys that know me or sit through this video enough to get my point. I mean, I'm saying this shit without laughing my ass off. It's hard to make a video about it, but. And one other thing that came to my mind too, if you got this far in this video, a couple of the same people were quoting George Carlin in that, and I was thinking, wait a minute, what does the late George Carlin have to do with this Antifa video? Well, I've made references to the late George Carlin myself, and I'm sure a lot of people on the left made references to him. You'd have to really look him up to find out what he really was politically, but I liked a lot of his shit. I myself always, even next to certain people I worked next to, I used to use the term that there's assholes out there, and maybe asshole supervisors, right? Even though you do your job, unlike these other assholes I'm talking about. I used to like to use that saying that the late George Carlin used. Yep, they want the statement where he used the comment where they want obedient workers, strong and smart enough to do the paperwork and run the machinery, but dumb enough to be just idly sit by or passively accept all the bullshit. I noticed that, yeah, people on the far left and the right will bring him into it and use his statements, even if you want to dig deeper and find out what he really is. But anyway, people have brought his name into that in a comment section of an Antifa Cop City video, the footage where all that nonsense was going on, right? And I'm looking through these comments and all that, and it would take me forever to go find that shit and take a picture of it, you know what I mean? But I'm looking at this, and there's some leftist Antifa sympathizer, right, saying that bullshit, you know. Anyway, I'm sure, yeah, just basically making a video trying not to laugh at this shit, trying to describe it, because it's, in some sense, you can call it a big paradox. It's mind-blowing that you can have people in totally different moral and political sides that will use the same exact statements, but they use it in an backwards way just to their advantage. And just to talk about it almost makes your head hurt. It's like, wait a minute, you're trying to analyze this and make sense out of it. Like, you're like, what the hell? I mean, you know, when it gets to be, you could almost say it's getting to be a paradox, because it almost makes you almost try not to laugh, and almost mind-blowing to even talk about and focus on what you're saying, because to literally describe it, it's like totally ass insane. I think the extreme opposite extremes have their own versions. You know, like, just to end this video, I always told you, the right wing has a subdivision. There could be a left and a right within right wing, and then in the left there could be a left and a right in a left wing. You can be like, say, well, I go lean to the right on some things, but I'm not like one of those assholes. And then you can say, well, I care about the poor, right? And I'm not one of those assholes that stick up for all the lowlifes. You know what I mean? And you might have somebody that you meet, both one that's on the far right, and then one on the far left that'll talk down to you, and you'll make a statement that I mentioned, but how about, like, you, just like some of them, have a problem with authority, but, it's not like their way. Like, you might have one that's far right that talks down to you, right, and will accuse you, oh yeah, you must be a far left communist. But then of a leftist, you'll say something, be a smartass to some leftist that sticks up for all the lowlifes, and they'll say, oh, you must be some right-wing conservative. And, well, I made back to a comment, somebody that commented to me because of my ideas about the right to be able to defend yourself responsibly and have a gun. I'm like, and even in other social media pulled that, oh, conservative. I'm like, really? Do I look like a fucking conservative to you? Really? Because I said something that you don't like? And then, like, you'll have somebody on the far right, even though you lean right to certain things. And I always said that there's people out there on the far right that don't really like me because I don't get my hair cut or dressed like a dork some kind of way to look a particular part. So if I lean to the right to some of these people, they can talk down to me, and I'm not shit to them, you know what I'm saying? So, and then when I made statements to that effect in the past too, I had some asshole that I showed you a picture of one of their comments. Oh, get off the fence! What you're saying is incorrect. And whatever. I had that in the back of my head too, but I'm like, actually, the face I'm actually making this video is kind of like the same face I was making when I was seeing these comments in the comment section. You know what I mean? The very idea that just talking about it it actually causes you to make the face, the very dumbfounded kind of face that you make when you were looking at the shit in the comment section. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's totally